Hey everybody, it's Butterrunner here, and today I'm doing a Minecraft texture pack tutorial for you guys. The title of this one is How to Shade. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna show you guys how to shade and stuff. I use GIMP if you're wondering. Yeah, if you want to get it, you can just look it up. It's like kind of like Paint or Photoshop or something. But today I'm gonna show you guys how to shade, especially in 16x, 32x, and I kind of use this style in 64x part of the time too. But you can also use this style of shading in a lot of other things, not just swords. But in some other videos, if you guys want, just let me know in the comments below what else you want me to teach you guys to do. I would probably, I'm going to create a different video for HD shading. So if you're wondering how I shade in HD, like 128, 256, and 512, and sometimes 64x will shade that way too, I'll show you guys how I do that. But for today, I'll show you guys how to shade in 32x and 16x, how I usually do it at least. And you can also use this style in 64x too. I mean, you can use it for basically anything. I sometimes use it for 64x. So let's get started. So basically, once you have your shape down, as you can see, I have like a shape here. Once you have your shape down, you can just like cut it out into primary colors. Then you're going to want to pick the color of the blade or whatever. So I'll do that in a second, but I'm going to show you guys what I basically do first. You could do this different ways, but like the easiest way I just do is, let's say if I was going to color the blade right here. Actually, I want the handle to look like that. Alright, we're going to do it like this. So let's say we want to do a diamond sort of color for that. So I'm going to take my bucket here, and I'm just going to fill it in and make it all that color. Okay, and now on the pencil is what I'm using for 1 pixel. Or the pencil, and with the size of 1 pixel, I'm going to take it down to like the opacity. Honestly, I don't ever even look really. I just take it down and use like the rest of the time. I just use it like that. So basically how I shade is, there we go. I shade kind of like that, because then you can get, this is sort of a mint color. You can get different shades of that. So then, like, if you take it down, that's the border right there. So that kind of looks like a normal diamond sword. That's kind of funny that I didn't even mean to do that. But like, I guess, actually, to be perfectly honest, what I usually do is I shade the blade and then I make the border. So I'm gonna go back to black right here, and what I usually do is something like that. And then let's say we go like that, because I'm not going to worry too much about this outer part, but I'll do it real quick just so I can say I did it. So you're going to create this, you could call it like a gradient sort of look, but you're going to create that sort of look right there. And then what I like to do is kind of, no, I like this bright sort of thing. So we're going to like bring this way. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to take this, because this is probably a good color for the border. So I'm going to make this, all of this here, right here. I'm going to try and like fade it. So this border right here is kind of standing out. That's how I usually shade stuff, I guess. So I'm going to make all of these lighter. If you're wondering what I'm doing, is I'm hitting control and I'm picking this color. I'm just picking, so I'm using that color. So I'm going to pick that color, place these, and just cover all of those like that. I'm going to pick this color because I need it brighter, so that's basically what I'm trying to do right now. And I mean, I'll brighten this too, but later I think I'll come back and make it darker. So I have all of this that looks like that. That looks kind of nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color here. I'm going to go to the thing and make it a little bit darker, but not so it's black. That way it's still colored. And then I'm going to turn up the opacity so I get a nice dark border right here. And I'm going to place this like that. So there you go. See, I have a sword. So that's kind of basic. Now, if you're wondering how you get detailed, is some people know filters to do with this sort of stuff, but I'll grab something like, I'll get like white like this, and I'll start making it brighter right here. And then once you do that, you can start grabbing these colors. So like you see what I'm doing, I'm hitting control, grabbing the color. The opacity is like halfway down. So like I'll start going like that, and then I'll sort of maybe fade it downwards that way, like that. See how I'm grabbing the color, and then since it's opacity, I'm slowly fading. But it's like a little more less predictable than gradient, because it's not just like outright one direction. So then I'm gonna go like that, and then maybe grab it like that. So if you look at it like that way, I kind of have sort of a good looking thing. And then you could like, you just basically add variation where you feel like it needs it. I don't know. I kind of like how this is looking right there. Let's say I wanted to make this darker, or I kind of like the darker border. That just looks a little too. So then that's, as you can see, I have a blade here. What I'll do though is I'm just gonna make the blade go like that. So now that we have our sword, I'm gonna shade the sword. So I'm gonna make the color of this handle, or not the sword, but the handle. That's what I was saying. I'm gonna make it gray, and then I'm gonna get the bucket. Oops. I'm gonna get the bucket, fill it in. That's a little bit too light of a gray. I'm gonna grab that. It's sort of a dark gray. Oops. Alright, now I'm gonna grab black. As you can see in my color palette, it's just black. I'm gonna turn down the opacity again, and I'm gonna sort of do some stuff here. I'm gonna do that sort of fade you see right here. It's like goes light to dark. Some people call that a gradient. I'm gonna do that right here because that's like the handle part. And see, I grab that color and just kind of try and smooth it out if it seems too like dark, I guess, on one side. Like that. Let's see, like that. There we go. So that's how that works, I think. And then I can just delete that, actually. What I might do is just do this. I'm going to copy it. Control C, Control V. I'm just going to copy it and extend it down to there. So then you have your thing there. So I'm going to go back to the pencil. And I'm going to start shading. So this part, a lot of the time, it's kind of random. I'm not going to lie. It's a bit random. Not completely random, but I kind of just go with what looks good at this point, because sometimes what I do is I'll do that thing I was doing where so I turn the opacity up because I need more of this color, if you're wondering why. I'll take like it so it's fading to get lighter, so it gets like lighter as you get upwards like that. I don't know if you see how I'm doing that. If you see that, like, it just gets lighter towards the top. Sometimes I'll do that. That was too much. This part stands out, so I kind of wanted to darken it. But this is sort of a light. This works right here. Sometimes I'll mix it up though. Like, I'm gonna turn this up, and then I'm gonna get black, and I'll make it sort of. I did that fade thing that goes upwards, like that. Though it's a little more inconsistent than gradient, so it looks better. But sometimes I'll do something like this, so that I guess you get something like that, and then see, it gets like it's darker on the outsides, and it's lighter in the middle, which is sort of a more commonly seen thing, I guess, like that. But to be perfectly honest with you, I'm gonna go back to the other one. You can do that if you want, but like, it's really just whatever looks good to you. But the main thing is using this opacity thing. So I use this to shade for 32x2. But here we go. I'm gonna take my magic wand and select this part. This is my tolerance or threshold. If you're on paint.net, there's something called threshold, and you just turn it down for the magic wand. I think it's up here, but I'm gonna like adjust this with like a brightness contrast thing. It's an under colors brightness contrast, and I'm gonna like darken it. Then I'm gonna maybe make some contrast because I like how that looks, and then see, like that. That's kind of what I liked about that. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't like how like dark this part is, so I kind of just tone it down a bit by grabbing that gray and like covering it, because what it does is opacity, so that kind of helps. So there you go. Here's the diamond sword shaded. I don't know. You can like even customize it even more, so that it's more to your liking, I guess. You could do it like that. Yeah, because if you see some of those really detailed packs, they're not always real great for PvP, but if you go like that, oops, I'm gonna turn that down. If you go like that, you get like a really light sort of look, and some people like that. So let's see, grab it like that. like that. There you go. See there, you get that really bright look, which some people like. So I mean, and then if you're wondering how I recolor, there's two tools in GIMP. You can do hue and saturation, which is like this. Sometimes it doesn't look good when you're recoloring with this though. So like, ooh, I like that blue. Not gonna lie. So like, you just change the color. It just changes the color of everything by the same way. But then this other tool, colorize, forces everything to the same color. It makes it all a hue of red. So for example, sometimes it doesn't look good because that white part is really white, so it doesn't like change color correctly in hue and saturation. So I'll do colorize, and it forces them all to like the same sort of hue, a little bit better. It's hard to explain, but I mean, if you were using it, you'd understand it better. So that's that. But yeah, so we'll stick with that color, I guess. So that's for this diamond sword, I guess. And yeah, and then I'll just show you guys real quick some stuff too. I can make more videos on this. Just let me know down below. So like, I'll take this down, and then you get like an iron sword, kind of like that. I'll adjust brightness and contrast too, and then like if you desaturate it, like so it's dark, it's a stone sword. But yeah, so that's that. Oops. I hope you guys enjoyed that part. I'll just show you guys real quick how I shade with 32x. It's basically the same idea. So basically, I'm doing something like, first we'll get a color. Let's do like a, I don't know, we'll do light blue again. So we'll go like this. I'm gonna pull out the black again, and basically I'm gonna make this a little more like a faithful sword, like that. I've done one of these before, so this should look right, or pretty good at least. So it's gonna look like that. I turn that down so that I can have like shading. So I'm gonna make this side of the sword darker. So actually, if I just want to save time, I'll select that color now that I figured out what color it is. And see, this side is lighter than this side, which is kind of what I wanted. So now what I'll do is I'm gonna take this here and sort of slightly shade it along this. And if I wanted it to be faster, I'll just click this, get this color, hit shift, pull it down, you get a whole line like that. That's just a faster way of doing it, but yeah. Then I'm gonna get this thing here and like get this color. And I'll make it more irregular later on, but I just get my basic design like this way, just because I can. So then I'm gonna like get this. So what I'll do is I have that color picked out. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna make it all like that. So now what we'll do is I'm gonna grab black. There we go. I did that by hitting D on my keyboard. If you're wondering how I did that, it was just a sort of thing I do. So now I'm just gonna shade like that. So as you can see, it looks a little bit odd, I'd say, in my opinion, because this is kind of standing out a lot. So I'm gonna kind of actually tone up. I don't know. I'll make my opacity 50%. That seems good, and maybe more. So I'm gonna do that so I can tone down this middle piece like that. And I'm using this color here just to make it less, so that it's less stark and stuff. So that's like, that kind of looks good, but in my opinion, I'd want it a little more like this, I guess. That looks a bit weird though. I might have darkened it a little too much. So what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit of this outer color here that I just picked. I'm gonna grab it like that. It's too much. So now that we have it like that, I'm gonna darken all these middle pixels so it seems like the blade sort of has a bevel, if you know what I mean. This side needs to be a little bit darker though, so I'm gonna add a little bit of that darkness. But what I'm gonna do is, to make it a little more detailed, I'm gonna add it to like halfway up the blade, and then I'm gonna start making it detailed like this. This half of the blade, I guess, is gonna be darker than that upper area of it. So then you have like this, if you can see, that part of the blade is like lighter, so I'm just gonna like maybe fade it a little bit, make it do that there. So then right here, I'm just gonna get this stuff here. so that it gets sort of like brighter up here. I want to make it look like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of like lightening all these pixels right here, and it looks a little bit irregular, so I'm just kind of, that's a little bit too light. I'm just going to lighten all of this here. And then I'm going to grab this and then have that sort of happen like that. And if you can see what I'm doing, I'm like making all of these go a little bit gradually up the thing, because I'm kind of trying to add light right there. So let me get this right here. I'm going to get this white. I'm going to add some white because actually I want to make this sort of look good. So as you saw me do it before, I did that thing with the white, and I just used it to add sort of light to the sword, if that makes sense. So like if we bring all this way, you'll see how it kind of adds to the sword. If I can just finish up real quick right here. So basically you're going to lose color right here though, so that's something you gotta be careful with. But if I mean, as you can tell, this is sort of a very experimental thing. It may not look good in the end, but this is how I make basically most of my stuff. Yeah, see, I like how I added that little, it adds a little bit of shine to the sword. So I'm just gonna take this though, so I can go like, I'm gonna just add a little bit of darkness right here, and then I'm gonna make it not so dark again by following through down this way. Oops. See, but at this point it's starting to look good to me, and I kind of just like it how it is now. So let me just fix this here. So there's sort of a slight pattern, I guess you can tell. And then I shade the sword the same way. Like, watch. Let's see here. We'll grab a gray. We're just gonna make this sword all the same color. We're not gonna have like a wooden handle or anything. There's a good gray. So then I'm gonna do that thing I've shown you guys before. It's like, what I sometimes do though is to, instead of just a normal like it gets darker and it gets darker and it gets darker like this, what I'll do is, well, one thing I'll also do is like sometimes I'll grab like a dark color, and if I want to be working fast, I'll go like this, and then see how I have a bunch of this dark color. I wasn't going slightly. I'll have the light color, and I'll like bring the light color in like this. I'm gonna turn this up a little. No, I'm gonna turn it down a bit. So, and then I'll bring the light color. I'll turn it up. I'll bring in the light color like that. Like that, and then like that, like that. See, and then you get the idea. So there's sort of, that's more of a gradient though. So what I'll like to do sometimes is I'll make this outer part a little bit darker like that, and then you have sort of a light to dark thing. It still looks good though. If I just add this here, there you go. So then there's your handle. You have a handle, and then if you wanted to like make your blade part, let's see here. And also I could just like grab this here, or actually if I just grab this, I can take this down and just select that part. I'm gonna colorize it. That's one of the other things you can do with this. So I'm gonna make it about this color here. Alright, it's easier to work with this in hue and saturation, but you have to use desaturated colors. You have to colorize them. You can't use hue and saturation. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, orange. There we go. So now I can get that brown for like a wood handle. I lied, I'm actually doing a wood handle. So now I can basically do this. What I'm going to do for this is actually, I'm going to make a border like that. This is sort of a lazy way of shading. Not what I'm doing right now. This is sort of specific. But what I'm about to show you that I'm going to do, because I think I just want to do shade like that. It's sort of a shortcut, but sometimes it looks good. So I'm going to get a light and put that there. Actually, more like that. No, like that. So I'm also going to get that light color. Oops. and put that in here. I'm going to put a light color right here, because this part I kind of wanted to get light. And then I'm going to add some darkness down here. So this the shading is going to be a bit cleaner. I could leave it like this for like a clean sort of shading, like that. But I actually don't want to. I mean, that could work, I guess. But I might shade this. Like, yeah, this could honestly work. What I was gonna say that, or show you guys that I was gonna do is, let's go here and here. That kind of works. I like how that looks. What I was gonna do though is, if you select this sort of part of the thing. Alright, we're gonna do it by saturation because I don't want the handle. So you can do something like this. I would turn this down because it's kind of harsh. And I'm gonna cut it, paste it, and blur it, and you get sort of a smoothed out look of it. I kind of just blur stuff sometimes. And then I can just re-add that outline. Though I think the other version looked better in this case, so I'm gonna leave it. And then right here, I'll add this light here. Hopefully this video wasn't too long, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, there you go. That's how I shaded that. But yeah, that's all. Just let me know in the comments, and let me know if you guys want more of these and what you want me to teach you guys to do. That's all, and I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.